Hello, welcome to lesson number 4. The topic of this lesson is white culture and privilege. It may sound a little bit undefined at this point, or maybe a new term for most of us. It's this idea that individuals, especially white males, have had a unfair advantage in societal interactions and the development of society, and has resulted in the oppression of many minority groups or other groups uh, that exist in the world. Um, and we'll be reading uh, many items that agree with this idea, and some material that criticizes this idea. We'll also be talking about accumulation advantage and disadvantage. This means that there are certain groups in society that may have advantages that have grown over time. And because these groups have advantages, they're better prepared to cope with and to take advantage of opportunities that exist in the future. For the accumulated disadvantage idea is the concept that some individuals or groups have been disadvantaged over time. And even when they're trying to, and even when the group or individual is making improvements or keeping pace with the majority of society, they still cannot keep pace with those individuals that have accumulated advantages. So it's basically, if you want to boil this down, it's the idea that certain groups have advantages over others, and that makes them stronger and more able to deal with issues of life and make use of opportunities. And other individuals have disadvantages that's accumulated over time that makes these groups be ill prepared or unprepared to take advantage of opportunities or to cope with daily stressors or responsibilities. So we have several articles that go through this concept. We also have some articles that we'll be reading in the beginning that discuss some historical perspectives of the approach that we took in the New World, even beginning in 1600, of oppressing certain groups. Those new settlers from Europe was leaving oppression because they were being oppressed against, and they were being discriminated against. That's why they came to the New World. But once we set up society in the New World, this group that was oppressed started oppressing other groups at the same time. Off the bat, Native Americans, and later African Americans, and Irish Americans, and so forth. Um, so we will be laying this really broad foundation, beginning to look at not only the Caucasian population, the white population, which has been the majority in the United States since inception, and that's beginning to change. Where in coming years, and in some states, the minority will have a majority over the population, which means that no longer will Caucasians be the majority in America. Minorities will be the majority in America. And one of the reasons of including this lesson in this class, including some of the material, is for us to start thinking that we're from Southwest Virginia. And traditionally, until late, Southwest Virginia had been majority driven, meaning we have been majority Caucasian and somewhat isolated from many of the minorities that have lived and thrived in other parts of the United States and the world. Of late, our minority population is increasing, not as fast as other parts of the world or other parts of the nation or a state, for example, Northern Virginia, for example, but our minority population is driving. And for those of us who have been in the majority for so long, we need to start realizing that our perception is only one perception of many, that other individuals have many other different perceptions about life, living, liberty, justice. And we need to begin understanding and acknowledging and conceptualizing some of those differing ideas because they do exist and they're around us. And they can enhance how we see life and enhance our culture and enhance our community at the same time. We have a short video to watch that was somewhat made in jest, but talks about the historical oppression that women have faced. We will talk about this topic again in a later lesson, but especially oppression that white men, middle age, have directed towards the other gender, and an attempt to make amends for that. We have a discussion board that I'll be asking folks to talk about. Are we in a post-racial society, a society that no longer has to deal with racial issues, or is race as big of a topic as ever in America? And last but not least, our Lesson 4 journal posting, reading response posting, that we ask you to think about some of your accumulated advantages and disadvantages, and how that has helped you or limited you in your experiences in the past, and how your accumulated advantages and disadvantages may pose problems in the future with the goals that you want to achieve, or may help. So it'll be really important to read the articles on accumulated advantages and disadvantages, and talk with the instructor about the possible implications of that in order to do well with this particular reading response. As always, please let us know if you have questions. Take care.